Okay, good to start, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, hi, good afternoon. 11 participants, what's happening? Yeah, hi. Okay, yeah, we are recording. So I haven't given you guys anything to work on before the beginning of the class, but make sure that you will be grilled at the end of the first 1.5 hours. So at the end of the first 1.5 hours, you're going to get a Google form in which you will attempt, you will be marked. I mean, you'll get marks for it. And I really want to know who's paid attention. This is the last 30 seconds. I can close my eyes. Whoever wants to get out of class can quietly get away. Right? Anybody wants to go now? No, I'm just joking. Okay. Right. So, where are we? I hope you guys had a good holiday and good break. Huh? No, all your assignments and all that, right? But assignment is like holiday. No, okay, good. Let's start the class. So we've done over the last 2 hours. That's about 6 hours of class. We've been talking a lot of things. We've been topics we have discussed. Any topic that we have discussed so far? Without looking at the, of course, you can Google, you can do a lot, but any topic without even looking, don't look at the paper. Vision, mission, then marketing strategy, 4 P's and their equivalent. 4 P's and their equivalent. And their equivalent 4 C's. Okay, anybody else? Yeah, online. Wake up. Go ahead. What else? Yeah. What else? What is that? Okay, following me on Twitter is a big thing, right? Okay, whoever is following me on Twitter will get 2 more marks. Okay. Okay, anybody not following me on Twitter will get 5 marks less. Okay, no, jokes apart, at the end of all this exercise, you want to do the announcement now? Yeah, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. Online students, can you hear me? This is Professor Rajan.
If you sit.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Great. How many we have online? Okay, 18. 18 and this class. Okay. So students, as you all know, you would have received the message on your WhatsApp group and email. We are conducting this AI workshop. So we really need participants for this because it's a very big thing for all of us. Yeah, and even for you. So we have brought down the price. It's around 1,000 rupees for all executive MBA students. It was earlier at 3,000, if I remember right. It's brought down to 1,000. It's going to be held at the campus. It's a 4-day workshop, 24 hours workshop. And the person conducting this workshop will be doing it over here in Gallery 3. So if anybody is interested, please reach out to me. We have shared the forms. So the workshop includes, it's a hands-on workshop is what I want to tell you. You need not be a programmer, you need not be a coder or someone. It goes down to the basics as to how basic you can get as far as AI is concerned. Because the moment we talk about AI, everybody has a feeling that it is to do with of course machine learning and all those programming languages, but it really touches at a very ground level. Okay, I mean, I'm not really a proponent of AI. I can't really speak much about it, but I'm told that it will be covering at a very basic level for everybody to sort of have an understanding about that. So we really hope you will find great value out of it. And these two speakers especially are data scientists, and they have done a lot of work over 2 decades onto AI. So there's lots to be learned from these people. So please think about it and see if you want to. 9th, 10th, and 23, 24. It will be happening at the campus. 9th and 10th of April, which is next Saturday, Sunday. So other thing is, if any one of you are missing your class because of that, you can go to the recorded sessions and your attendance will be taken into account since you are joining this course. Many students came and asked me whether, if you miss the class, what happens? I think this could be more prioritized over your regular class, which can be taken, online whenever you have time. You can go through the recorded sessions. So yeah, please think about it and reach out to me. I'll share the forms. Fill the form and so yeah. Okay. So thank you very much.
Okay, good. Thank you, Professor Rajesh. Yeah. Okay, attention. Okay, pay your attention here. At the end of all our effort, of whatever we are doing in our executive MBA program or in our regular MBA program, it has to result in what for the company? It has to result in dash for the company. What is that dash? Progress. Okay, what is the other word with P? The other word with P.
Profit.
Profits. At the end of the day, if you do your executive MBA program and join back the team and say, sir, I'm the now MBA certified, and next year there's 15% drop in business, you know whom they're going to drop, right? So at the end of all of this, even the NGO, even the non-profitable organizations also want profitability. Profitability can be defined very ways.
Hello, if someone is speaking something I'm not able to hear, or is it only me or any one of you guys not hearing?
That someone who is speaking has to be only me. so now can you hear me well? Yeah, okay, I got some names here. Darshan and Mansi. Mansi, of course. I see your picture now. Can you hear me well?
Yes, sir. I've muted myself. Thank you. And sorry about this.
Good. Thanks. I can. Okay, perfect. So what we are trying to do is today we'll do a case study, and I have also given you a case study. I'm just giving you, take up a new case and see how it works. And things like that. So let's understand what happens in a case study. And I'm delighted that this works. Who doesn't know Tanishq, right? I mean, especially this lot, they all love Tanishq, right? And so Tanishq, we talk about Tanishq. Tanishq is a very popular brand, and Tanishq is a product from the Mahindra Group. Tata's Group. Okay, good. So it is from the Tata Group, and Tata, I mean, mostly they don't get it wrong, but you never know, right? So I'm sorry, this works only first 2 slides. The host has spotlighted your video for everyone later. Okay. Oh, forget it. Okay, so here's the background about Tanishq and Titan. So Tata started off Titan, and Titan is a wonderful brand. I don't know how many of you have Titan watches. Anybody here with a Titan watch? Good. Anybody here with a HMT watch? No, it's not a good watch to wear. No, okay. I went and bought 3 HMT watches about 8-10 years back because they were just about to close down the things. So I bought a HMT Pilot, a Janta, and something else. And now they're willing to give me 10 times the price. See, that's so now the HMT has now become a collector's item. So Titan was a Tata Group company, and they said, "Oh, we've been doing fabulous work in watches, and they really have a good outlet in Hosur and all that." So they said, having been successful in jewelry business, having been successful in watch business, let me get into jewelry business. And remember, this story starts in 1995, quite a while back. So you need to picturize the world that was then and not the world that is today. Okay. So they said, okay, let's get into the business. And they named themselves as Tanishq, a wonderful name. And 3 years they did disaster, absolute disaster. They just didn't know what was going wrong. They didn't know where were they heading. And they said, let's do a market research and find out what is going wrong. Of course, they would have done a market research before, but now we're post market research. That is what is went wrong. So words that are out here are market research, consumer behavior, value proposition, frames of reference, points of parity, points of difference, segmentation, targeting, positioning, and of course, the last one I added called the product. So all of these we're going to discuss in this case study. I'm not going to explain them what they are. We'll understand them. And after I have done, we'll go and do every one of them in detail. Okay, so I'll do a case study and then see where all of this gets to be useful. So bad job done. We don't know what's wrong. We were good in watches. But how can we fail when it comes to how can we fail when it comes to using the thing? Okay. So in 1995, the world was very, very different. Okay. In 1995, the world was very different, especially the jewelry industry was unorganized. If you know, jewelry also is like the goldsmith is like a community. Okay, there were certain people who were specialists, like some of us may even be coming from that community. So it was like a very unorganized sector, and people like to buy it from the family jeweler. We never trusted anybody else. There was this family jeweler who was actually was probably gave the gold for my mom's marriage, and then possibly for her mom's marriage. And then I'm sure for my daughter, we will go to the same jeweler. So it's a long traditional association. And somebody walks in and says, I want to break this association. Crazy or what? Not going to work like this. And point number two is that the purchase of the jewelry is a joyful activity. Okay, and I'm sure all of you will agree that you'll put on your best saris and go to buy. You don't wear kind of you will go and buy it as a very important activity, and it's bought for an investment. Despite the fact that you go for all of this, you must have some gold at home for a rainy day. Something goes wrong, we must save it. And tradition is very important. You wouldn't go to buy gold on a Tuesday, or you wouldn't go to buy gold during a Rao Kala and all that stuff. It looks funny now, but that's a fact. And it may not be so at 2022, but in 1995, the world was very different. Remember 1995, I don't think we even had internet stepping in, and India, Bangalore more so was a very different one. And people borrow money to buy gold for their daughter's marriage. You know all the thing, right? And gold purchase is a family affair. Not that you just walk in, buy yourself a gold ring. It doesn't work like that. But what did Titan do by getting into it? They said, we want to corporateize the whole thing. It doesn't work like that. You can't go and do corporatization of a thing that is so family oriented. They said, we've done it for watches. We've won the trust of the people. If they can wear it in the wrist, why can't they wear the gold bangle also on the wrist? But it didn't work. What happened was they wanted to make it a fun event. They wanted to buy gold as a fun event, not as something that is a very serious family related event. They bought a Western concept. And if some of you have traveled abroad, especially when in my initial travel days, I used to do a lot of travel. One thing my wife would tell me is, don't bring me gold. Contrary, of course, unless until I go to Dubai, of course, it's a different thing. So she believes that the Western gold or the American gold or the European gold is 18 karat gold, and it's not gold. 22 is real gold. So they started selling 18 karat gold, and it's not going to work. Nobody's going to buy an 18 karat gold. And so lots of losses piled up. Titan even said, or Tata even said, maybe we should get out of the gold business. You know where they are today, a virtual leader. So what went wrong? What did they notice? How did they do the correction? And actually, today is what Titan says. We started out, we didn't think we could achieve this, but now we are the jewelers to the nation. So what turnaround happened? And what is that learning that will help us in our own marketing activities? So let's look at them one by one. The initial finding is very simple, right? Western design had very few takers. In 1995, it's still a very traditional thing. Not many women were going to work. Okay, the first thing you do graduation is graduate because you get a better boy or something like that. No, now no longer, right? You graduate, come back and do your executive MBA, right? So world has changed, right? Yes or no? Yeah, if the boy has not done executive MBA, we'll not even look at it, right? Yeah. Okay. So 18 carat was not a serious consideration like the way we just discussed. And no customer confidence. The customer did not trust Tanishq. They trusted their age-old relationship with the jeweler. And the positioning and the branding of the product was wrong. So we're going to learn what is positioning in today's class. We learn branding later on sometime in class 5 or something. So what they said was, yeah, anybody saying something? Okay, no problem. So by introducing the design, what they could do is that they could easily modify the designs and make it traditional design. That's the easiest thing to do, right? Stop the Western designs, come up with a local design. They also did not know who should be the target market, meaning who is going to buy. When you're going to buy gold, the grandmother is going, the mother is going, the daughter is going. There's so many people are going to buy the gold. So who is your focus market? Do you convince the grandmother? Do you convince the daughter? Or do you convince the father who is actually giving the money? You don't know, right? So there was a issue of positioning. What is positioning? We'll think about it and talk about it a bit later. So this is the problem that they had. The problem they had, but nobody trusted Tanishq. Nobody trusted 18 characters, 18 characters, 18 carats. And so this is the problem that they had. The easiest thing to do was to move from 18 carat to 22 carat. That's the first thing that they did. Okay, let's do a product correction. Right? You know, we talked about the product. We said, what is a core product? I mean, if you don't even meet the core requirement of the product, nobody's going to buy it, right? And then go traditional. So they did that perfect overnight. They scrapped all their Western products and they came up with a very traditional thing. That done. What is the next thing that they did? The next thing that they did was to understand their competition. And remember, SWOT analysis is also about what your strength is also about the strength of your competitor. And hence, my competitor's strength becomes my weakness. So what are the things that they realized? That they trusted the family jeweler without any proof. Whatever the family jeweler gave them was perfect. We never doubted it. And the pricing mechanism had no logic. There was no way you could compare two prices because, you know, either there's an amount of what do you call making charges or whatever that is. There was no way. And one jeweler didn't trust the other jeweler. So you say that I brought this gold bangle from somewhere else. He would say, no, okay, once you not mine, then I'm not going to give you the same value for it. So these are the findings. And then they were very isolated and addressed a very captive base, meaning that if there was a gold jeweler in Jainagar, he only addressed Jainagar customers. His base was everybody who was in the 3 or in your small village. There was that jeweler. So only people from that from that town bought it. And there's no documentation. They never gave you bill. They never told you anything. So these were the market research findings. Now, once you do a market research and you find out some information, that is the weapon that you have. Use this weapon to fight your competition. So what is the first thing that they did? They said that first was faith without proof. So what is it that they said is that how sure are you that the gold that your family jeweler is giving you is 22 carat? So Titan said, don't walk into my showroom, or Tanishq said, don't walk into my showroom to buy. Walk into my showroom to test your own gold. They had a meter called, or a unit of measurement called carat meter. And I don't know how many of you have actually seen a carat meter. Is that you just keep it inside a box. You have UV rays coming in. I'll tell you how good is it. So Tanik said, don't buy. Just walk in and test your own gold. And what was the result that came out? That almost, what percentage have I put there? Over 60% of traditional family jewelers were not selling 22, forget 18, they were not even 16 carat. So the first thing that the market research gave them is that the proof or the trust that they had on their own family jeweler was broken down. So now Tanik said, see, you were trusting somebody for years and he was giving you, which is not pure gold. Okay. And incidentally, I have another story to tell you is that my mom is now 92 and give me a glass of water. So very recently, about 10 years back, her sister called her and said, hey, I have a problem. So I said, what have I? So she's asking her what happened. She has given her bangle, that is my mom's sister, has given her bangle to her daughter. The daughter has given it to her granddaughter, and they are about to give it at 82. They will have great granddaughters. They were about to give it to the great granddaughter, and they realized that that was not gold. So now my mom's sister is saying that, come on, there's something wrong. We trusted our father. So you see where the event could go wrong. So that is what was happening, because they were all buying it from a local jeweler who's been with them. And probably they were so local that maybe they were also married within the family. Now there's a major feud happening in our family. Okay. So that is what it is. So first thing that they were able to do is break down the customer confidence. So now people started walking into the showrooms, and obviously while they were waiting for the carat meter to give the reading, they started looking around, and you know what happens? Progress of business happens, and there was a beginning of a growth curve within Tanishq. Next, what did Tanishq do? Next, they said there was no pricing mechanism. Nobody trusted the other's price. Somebody said that gold is cheaper in Mumbai. Somebody said, no, Cochin gold is cheaper. Somebody said Madurai diamonds are cheaper, whatever that is. So they said there is no logic. Where is the logic to pricing? Because remember, pricing mechanism without logic was the second market research information that they got. So they said, we will introduce a uniform pricing. We will introduce an one India price. So there you see, they were able to beat the second most troublesome problem that the customer was finding. So one price for gold. And they even went one more step further, saying that how is this price determined? This price is determined by the price of gold in the London Metal Exchange. So we are not coming out with an arbitrary number. Whatever is the price of gold at the London Metal Exchange would be reflected with some formulae into the price of gold in Tanishq. So there you see how Tanishq was able to move its customers into a more trustworthy relationship with them. The third thing that they did was that buyback. You know, one thing about gold is, you know, once you buy it, you can't return it. Or if you return it, there is something. They said, no, we trust you. We trust you. And that's the reason why
Amazon has that return policy. Amazon has a return policy which says that you return it back in 7 days or 8 days, and then it's a two-way street. As much as you trust somebody to sell you the product, they also have to trust you too, especially in an online conversation and things like that. So they said that we'll buy back gold, no questions asked, and we'll give you 100% refund, right? Or something like that. So that's another thing that they did, was to play along with the customer. The third thing or the fourth thing that they did, who's this? Should I really bother or ignore? Okay. Yeah, the fourth thing that this was that these family jewelers were very, very localized, meaning that there was one in Baswangudi, there was one in Malleshwaram, there was one there. So Titan had a challenge, or Titan or Tanishq had a challenge. Should they go into 100 cities immediately, or should they open 50 branches in one city? So once they realized that their competition was a very captive base, they said that we are not going to go all India. We're going to do carpet bombing in one city. So they will open up 20 branches in Bangalore alone. So they were able to handle that captive crowd. So the one which were going to the Malleshwaram jewelers would end up going to the Malleshwaram Tanishq showroom. So that way they were able to handle one city, convert one city, and then move to another. That was another brilliant planning that they did. So all of this, of course, resulted in a lot of improvement, trust going up. And so then faith without logic, proof or faith without proof, pricing mechanism, each one of these market research points, they were able to get rid of. And of course, poor documentation, anything that comes out of a Tanishq showroom is all printed and given to you and it validated. So they were now able to get over that. So there you see, the story ends up with saying that they were able to do the market research, then they were able to become profitable. Now, what's the next thing that they did? Now, all that done, they were able to beat the competition. Now, what would you do if you joined Tanishq at this stage? At this stage, they have completed all of this. They have won the customer confidence. They have won everything. How will you increase revenue? Ideas. Remember, that is 1995, and this didn't happen overnight, right? This wasn't an IPL. So this took about 5-6 years to get there. So we are now talking about 2002, 2003, 4. So what do you think Titan should be doing in 2004-5 to increase their revenue? Give an EMI option. Okay, very nice. Perfect. Anything else? Various designs, more or less the same thing, but remember, and you're perfectly right, because they started out with an 18 karat gold, and now the world has changed. The women are no longer wearing gold for the fact that it's a gold, but it's also because it's ornamental, it's stylish and things like that. So that is, what else can they do? What else can they? Yeah, you categorize, yeah, do some. Okay, very good. What else? Looks like all online have gone shopping. Yeah, so give some answers.
Well, sir, they came up with the monthly schemes wherein,
Yeah,
did
that's
already
good.
mention that?
Yeah, somebody said EMI
Okay.
scheme.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
very good. And what else?
I think the design will be the most important thing at this stage. I think with like you said, sir, a lot of people just not use this as ornaments, but as a stylish part of it. So I think the more designs they come up with, that may help.
Perfect. All of you have answered this. Good job done. Well done. So they made the entry barrier low. So what could happen is, what's your name? Sweta. So yeah, you or anybody, you could just walk in. You could just walk in and buy gold. That's it, right? I mean, you don't want a mom's permission to buy, because for 5,000 rupees you can buy yourself a small earring or something like that. So they made the minimum entry value 5,000. As a result, you could just go buy. But they just the professor said, "Good job. Let me go buy gold." Right. So then, of course, they got into a customer satisfaction program. They started connecting well with the customer, started talking to him. Then corporate gift scheme is more or less what he said. And then EMI finance is what you all of you said. And so there you go. This is a small case study that I wanted to get you engaged in before we move. So that's the end of the story. Today, Tanishq is a very established brand, but today Tanishq has been copied by so many of them, right? I mean, there's so many of them who are doing equally well and profitable, trustworthy, growing. So would you visit Tanishq showroom? Deepika is inviting. I think it's okay. Yeah, but there was one slide which was there, which probably missed out, is that Tata from Titan to Tanishq, they also came up with the body perfume. What is it called? Skin. So I don't know how I deleted that slide. So do you think the same approach can be done by Tata to get the skin product into the competition of, what the competition, the 100 players in the perfume market? But do you think they can do that? That's a challenge. We don't know. And they haven't done well. Skin hasn't really done well. Yeah. So there you go. Yeah, there are two elements. This skin is trying to head towards a premium element. And there are these all and sundry, they call it 40 rupees, 49 rupees, 99 and all that. So the one who can afford a premium would actually buy an imported brand. So, I mean, I'm not much of a guy for that, but I see a lot of them who go to duty free and pay through the nose just to smell good for half an hour. So that's what it is. So this is a case study that I want you to understand. And if you've understood that, in the next 30 minutes, we will understand what is market research and all of these points. Any questions on this subject? Any questions on the case study? Yes or no? Any questions? No. Okay, so let's do a new, where the hell is this? So you can see this and full screen. What is market research? What is market research? How many points should I expect from you? One from each section and 3 from online. Yeah. What is market research? Market research is doing research on market, but that's not a valid answer. Okay. Customer behavior is behavior of customer. No, that cannot be an answer. Okay. What is market research? Customer? Okay. Okay. Fair enough. So market research and consumer behavior or customer behavior. Okay. What is market research? One more. Understanding our competition. Now you do one thing, reframe the sentence and give me a more professional answer. Meaning that expand this answer to bring in your company, bring in the consumer, and bring in the competition. So you said, what was the word you said? Understanding, understanding competition. So now there's only one person involved, which is competition. Now I want you to build a sentence in which it has you, which is your company, it has competition, and it has the consumer. So now how will that sentence look like if you read through the sentence? Perfect, perfect. So now this is the kind of answers I want from all of you. Good job, well done. Okay, and so when I go back and when you give me an answer and I correct you, I'm meaning good. Okay, and that's my job. Okay, well done. So what you're saying is, as I need to understand what is making the customer buy the competitor's product and not mine, and what is it that I should do to more or less perfectly what you said. Any other answer? Just because she said doesn't mean you need not say. Okay, she's done her part. One more from this side. Yeah, online.
So it's about gathering information as what customer needs.
Okay, it's about gathering information. Okay, very nice. There is a word gather and there's a word information. Okay, and information can be anything, right? It can be information of the company or the market or yeah. Okay, anything
Yeah,
else?
it's about the requirements as well, what customers is exactly
Yeah,
looking for in this.
but you didn't meet your customers' requirement. Your customers in the first class said begin by mentioning your name. Okay, so now what's your name?
So my name is Trivikram.
What is that?
Vikram.
Vikram. Okay,
Yeah.
good. So when I know your name, it's easier for me to address you. Yes,
Sure,
these guys are doing deep market research. You can see that, no? Deep market research. So and they're all done market research. Are you ready with your answer? No, they need more time. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Sir, it is Manjunath here.
Yeah,
So,
Manjunath, go ahead.
yeah.
Yeah, go
So
ahead.
market research is basically done to see whether I have an opportunity to operate in that market or to sell my customers. Are there any customers who is ready to buy my product?
Okay, okay, okay. So yeah, I think fairly good. Good job. Yes. And based on the customer experience as well. Nothing from this side. Busy gold. Buying gold. How am I doing? Perfect, perfect. Take a shot. Stand up for your team. Hmm. Perfect. Good. Well done. It's like coming up with a product which says, I've come out with a 110 volts adapter, but do you think the market going to take that or the market actually wants a 220 volt and I do the change? Good, good, good. Well done. So what is consumer behavior? Market research and consumer behavior are two topics of today. If you answer all of this, we can go home. That's the whole idea. We don't have to go through slides. What is consumer behavior? Consumer behavior is customer. Which one do you prefer, Zomato or Dunzo? Huh? Swiggy. Actually, I thought Dunzo is the wrong word. Swiggy. Why do you prefer Swiggy? Because IPL is going on. Oh my God, I didn't know about this. Is it for the? Huh. But why isn't these guys doing? What are the other guys? Zomato. Why is Zomato not doing? It's pro membership. Okay. Okay. So now, okay, we'll do a bit of a research on this. Okay, we'll do a. I don't know if you guys online heard it, and They said that I love Swiggy, especially during IPL, because there are some great offers coming up between the 16th and the 20th over. To hell with which team I'm supporting, I'll eat Swiggy products or Swiggy food. Whereas I said, why don't you do that with Zomato? They said they have this Zomato Pro, which is a killer product. Or no? It's a, yeah. So, yeah. So, but you don't like Zomato Pro? It's bad. It's actually good. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I noticed that. I noticed that. Okay. Okay. Good. Yeah. So what has all this got to do with consumer behavior? There is one set of people who love Swiggy and hates Dunzo. And there's one set of people who like Zomato for their own products. Yeah, that. So what is consumer behavior all about? No, no. You know, you're going to look at it. Now your answer is going to be how do you react? How do you react? That's my point. Okay, so hang on. Now you have awakened that sleeping thing in my mind. Is that I'm going to rush back home and order some food between the 16th and the 20th over, right? Okay. Now, what is consumer behavior? Okay, consumer behavior is what you're saying is correct. Consumer is always looking out for deals. Consumer is always looking out for deals. Yeah, point number one. What else does a consumer do? What influences the consumer? Great taste and delivery doesn't always influence the consumer because promotion and great taste is a debatable thing, right? I mean, but what
I think
something else that happened between you and me? What?
How
Price.
fast it is delivered?
How fast it's delivered? My, do you think what I'll go and order through Dunzo today? I will order through when? so, so, so what is consumer behavior? Consumer behavior, consumer can be influenced by people. Consumer can be influenced by the advertisement. Whatever Swiggy may, not Swiggy, Dunzo may say today, nothing doing. Even if my wife has cooked a great biryani, I will order at the cost of my life. Okay. So that is consumer behavior. So now what we are going to do is we're going to look at what happens to the consumer and why all this whole exercise is all about, to look at it. We have so far done this. We have talked about a little about the customer. We talked about the company. We talked about the competition, SWOT, and all that stuff we did. We'll spend some time talking about the customer today. Then we will spend time trying to understand what is segmentation, positioning, and value proposition. And of course, the 4 Ps and all that stuff. We have somewhere done this. Okay. So consumer behavior. What is consumer behavior? Involves understanding my consumer. And remember, consumer behavior is not just a B2C market. A consumer behavior is a B2B market. It's actually a B2B market. And last term, I'm not giving you the same assignment, but last term we had an assignment in which somebody were to buy a product, and that product was recommended by 5 of the users in that company, but the 6th person said, I don't recommend that product because I had used that product in my previous company and it didn't do well. So you see, consumer behavior is not just a B2C activity. It's a very, very strong B2B activity. And that is exactly what if we are talking about. So we'll spend some time understanding what goes through the mind of the consumer. Maybe we are doing market research first and then consumer research. I don't know. So consumer behavior. Consumer behavior is the study of consumers, the process that they choose, how they dispose their services, their emotional attachment. There's so much of emotional attachment. I do not know, but if you sit back and think about it, there is so much of emotional attachment we have to a particular brand without even mentioning it. We love a certain brand and we will say why. Okay, because once you start understanding how the customer behaves, it is possible for you to mold that customer to buy more of your own products. And I don't know how many of you have the same thing, is that there are 300 television channels. There are 300 television channels, but you stick to 10 of them. That's your consumer behavior. It's only during that weak moment of that particular channel or that particular program in the channel that you get fed up, you move to another channel. And at that moment of time, if that channel is running a brilliant program, you will stick on to that. Otherwise, you will never do that. If you've noticed the consumer behavior and the way it's tapped out, I don't know how many of you watch Kaun Banega Karodpati and things like that. If you notice that the moment Amitabh Bachchan comes to start talking about KBC, right towards the end of the program, you will find 6 new serials coming up. The reason is they've got you so entangled in that relationship and they believe that they will drag it along. So this is all about how do you take the consumer and the decision that he makes. And you know what these are? These are definitive notes for you to talk about. So the consumer behavior is about understanding what he thinks, what is going on in the mind of the consumer. And it's not rocket science. It's very much possible for us to understand what goes on in the mind of the consumer, what influences the consumer's choice, and there are a lot of things, right? Family, friends, media, all of them influence our own decisions. Like, for example, I honestly thought that was in bad taste, the ad about the refrigerator. But look at the opinion that you all gave. Some of you said that's a brilliant ad. Some of you said I don't have a comment on that ad. So each of you depends on your personal factor, your psychological factors, and your social factor defines what it is. Right now there are all of a sudden people said we will not buy Hyundai cars. Why? Because Hyundai Pakistan is supposed to have told Pakistan Zindabad, and this is all that. Then you have the other factor saying that we'll never buy Chinese products. We will not buy Chinese products. And I have been forwarding that message. Don't buy Chinese products left, right, and center using my MI phone. So you see, how much ever is the social impact of it, but when it comes to my own purchase, okay, I'm not going to spend on a Micromax. I'll rather buy a 9,999 MI phone. So there is, how much can the social impact be on you? Minimal, right? And all of these die down, right? They don't hang on for a long time. They're just there for a week, 10 days, and then it just stops off. Okay. So we are talking about 3 factors which influence a person's thinking. There are internal factors and there are external factors. The internal factors is a personality of the individual. There's a certain personality of the individual who believes that I have that particular attribute of mine. I buy a certain type of products. I buy a certain type of design. And what age group do I belong to? What is my lifestyle? What is my annual income? All of that defines consumer behavior, right? For me, if I want to buy a shirt, I believe that any shirt about 399 is not worth it, right? I mean, any shirt above 4,000 is really not worth it. But there could be a set of people who believe that that's the starting range of buying a shirt. So it all depends on what it is. These are external factors which influence a consumer's behavior. The external factors are, which group do I belong to? Now, all of a sudden, she's influenced my decision on Swiggy. Then you have the family. If you looked in the case study of Titan or Tanish, it was the whole family which was deciding which gold to buy. But no longer, if that person is an independent who has a brilliant lifestyle, has an annual income of 20 lakhs and above, is under 22, and lifestyle is something we'll talk about. Life cycle is something we'll talk about later. Do you think she or he would be influenced by the family? No. The family influence has that only limited capability. Then cultural background. It's so very, very important if you understand what is the cultural background. And then which economy. You might come up with the best of the car. For example, the Citroen. How many of you know the Citroen car? Yeah, Citroen car. Unfortunately, the timing of the product was so bad. They just got into a pandemic. And though it's a lovely car, they're not able to make some noise, but they're tolerant enough and wait. Whereas Kia had almost a 2-year advantage before Citroen came. So economy also matters. But what is the impact of economy on the individual? So more of that. I'll not spend too much of time because these are topics that can go along. You could read about it. A customer can be defined in 3 ways. A cognitive customer, an effective customer, and a behavior part of the customer. A cognitive customer says, I don't know anything about this product. I'm willing to look around for the product. That means to say, I'm trying to buy myself a new projector or something like that. I have virtually no idea what this projector is all about. So I start looking around. But there are certain people who know what it is. So now I know what I want from a projector and I have certain likes and preferences. But that is one section. The second is how effective or affected am I in terms of the buying process. And finally, how loyal is the customer? Does the customer come back and buy the same product again? Does the customer recommend the same product again and again? These are what it is. Okay. So that's the 2 points. I just want you to, if there's something that I want you to take away from these styles, is to remember that the customer behavior analysis is about understanding what the customer is thinking or the consumer is thinking, what influences the consumer. And there are 3 primary factors: the personal factor, the psychological factor, and the social behavior factor. Which group do you belong to? If you belong to a group of, I don't know how to tell you this. I'm just trying to make a analysis of that. Is if you belong to a set of people who are watching primary television, then you're always talking about this serial or that cricket match and things like that. But if you're belonging to a group which is watching OTT, now and then you are not watching OTT, you know what is the social impact on that. So what is the first thing that you're going to buy is you go to subscribe to Netflix, not for your personal reasons, not for your psychological factors, but the social impact on you is that, hey, didn't you watch that, I don't know which is the interesting one on Netflix. Let me try to recall. Netflix has some very nice programs going. Yeah, the lots of money, haste, and all that stuff. So tomorrow you want to go and watch it. So this is what is the impact of it. And personal factors. My son will never buy the brand of the car that I buy. Obviously, right? Obviously, we'll never buy the same. The very fact that I want to stand out, especially if you look at and that's another very interesting case study. If you look at BMW versus Mercedes versus Audi, it's very, very simple. Who is buying BMW? Who is buying Mercedes? And who's buying Audi? Who you among the three is the youngest, the user? You have two viewpoints, but definitely not Mercedes. Mercedes has got that legacy which is not very good right now. That nobody wants to buy a Merc. Merc is associated with that age-old traditional thing, and if you look at MG, if you look at MG, the new ad that came up, nobody wants to buy an MG because it's associated, even the branding, as though it's an British brand and things like that. So that is the reason why you have who is this Tiger Shroff advertising for Kia. That is bringing up the young factor of it. So these are the personal factors: age, gender, who is doing what. If you have Punit Rajkumar advertising for a product, who do you think are their focus market is on? Karnataka, Kannada speaking thing. So that is what is the basic thing. So this is what I wanted to leave you all with. And then market research. Market research is more or less, you guys have said almost the same thing, and the target market that they want to reach. Market research consists of basically understanding what is the problem, understanding what we want to do, and then going ahead and looking for data. Data is very critical when you're doing a market research. Okay, so you have to first of all come up with the problem that you face. I want to come up like the case of Tata Tanish. They said that we have a problem. Why isn't my customer coming and buying my product? So you go ahead and do a research and then you come up with it. Or when ID is trying to introduce a new flavor of dosa mix or something like that, they want to know, will this be adapted? And there are half a dozen varieties now. I mean, if the flavor of North is actually, there was another research which was done, was done on the soaps that we use on our body, is that North India prefers soaps which are more smelly and with a lot of perfume attached to it, whereas South India wants to be used with the word herbal and Ayurvedic touch. So you only arrive at this data by doing a market research. So that is why you wouldn't see a lot of the Lux ads in South as much as they're probably there in the North, is because we don't buy that kind of product. That analysis is only done by collecting the data. So you collect the data, do a market analysis, and then you move forward. Data, it consists primarily of two types of data. One, what is the time? 2:30. Okay, one data is called the exploratory research. That means that you don't go looking for new data. You pick up all the data that is available and start analyzing it. The second data, which is called the descriptive data, is where you go to the market, find out what are you looking out for, what are the things that you are seeking, and then pull out that. All of this data is useless if you don't know how to do data analysis. What does it mean? What does it mean to do a data analysis? Have you noticed in some of the retail stores that you go, there'll be a security guy who will be, the moment you walk in, he just presses a button. What is it? What is he doing? Count of customers. Yeah. So what is he trying to do with that? Per day, how many footfalls? And what does that mean to you? What is that? No, go ahead. Let's try to analyze. Let's say you walked into Ramesh Retailer, it's a big brand. Okay. So now there's a security guy who is just punching the number. So at the end of the day, he said there are 723 people who walked in. To know how many? So okay, I give you this data. 723 people walked in and there were 23 sales happened. "700 people are not liking your product." Okay, so let's do. I'm actually going to do a data analysis right now. Right now. So here is the data. In my shop, let's make the number a little more. Mine is a variety shop. All kinds of people walk in. Okay, including executive MBA people. Okay, all kinds of people walk in, and 700 people walked into the store. We did 50 sales. That's the only data that's available with you. So what do you do with that data? Tell me. I want you to improve sales. That's your job. Product positioning. Okay.
Understanding how many pieces and what variety is being sold.
Okay. Okay, before you proceed further, is this data enough for you to do this analysis? It's just a part of the data. That guy didn't say whether 700 people, we said, walked in. Out of 700, how many of them were accompaniments to the primary buyer? How many of them were children? Okay, so what I'm saying is data by itself is useless unless and until you know how to collect that data. Tomorrow, let's do one more thing. As what we'll get 3 security guards. One security guard who is the one who just clicks the button on men walk in. The other is when the women walking, and the third, children. Okay, thank God you guys didn't go beyond that. Okay, so now you have 3 sets of data available. Now you go back and do a research of those 50 products that have been sold, and then you're able to do a segregation. So that's why I'm asking you such a trivial question is data by itself is useless, and most of the data is useless unless you know what to do with that data, right? I mean, you do a search engine optimization is what they talk about. What does optimization mean? What does optimization mean? Make it better. How do you make it? What relevant data does it matter to you, and what it matter? So that is what is data research all about. Yeah, anybody online want to add something to it? So we are done with consumer behavior, market research. This is a huge topic. I'm just staying on so that you guys know the topic. Okay, I mean, you don't have to be an expert on that. We'll get a little more in detail on segmentation, targeting, differentiation, value proposition, and positioning, because I want you to use some of this data in your case study. And some of these also come up in your details. So what is segmentation? How many of you know something? Do you guys need a break? Or you can wait for some more time? Okay. What is segmentation? Categorization. Give me an example.
Sir, this is Vikram.
Wait, let Vikram get the precedent. Yeah, go ahead, Vikram.
So, I mean, segmentation, I can give an example. So, in the previous company that we used to work, we used to have assuming 100 customers that we have. So, we used to segregate between who is a good customers, who is bad customers. For example, who is paying on time and who is not paying on time. So, we call as high propensity to pay and the low propensity to pay. Now, any customer who is high propensity to pay, obviously, we don't have to focus too much on them. And whoever is a low propensity to pay, then we target them and we try to contact them as much as we can. So
to push them to make the payment.
Yes, correct.
Okay, so you're saying that you are actually, I am a good paying customer.
Yeah.
So you will ignore me because I'm a good paying guy.
Yeah,
and this guy is not paying very well. No, you pay, don't worry. Yeah. Okay. So you will keep running behind him and ask him what is wrong with you. How can we make it better for you? Is that what you're saying?
right, sir. That's right.
I think
So the
something wrong
focus,
with that, right? Is that
the
isn't
focus.
that something wrong with it? But
See,
yeah, go ahead, Vikram.
the focus will be more on the customers who is not paying. So we don't ignore the high, I mean, the big good customers, but the focus will be more on the bad customers, where we try to contact them regularly and find out, I mean, what is the reason for non-payment, or I mean, why they're not paying on time. So segmentation, nothing but we segregate between two types of products or the
Okay,
customer.
good. You've started off with segmentation. You've expanded it, and you've given me room to tell you another story. So I'll tell you one more story on this thing. Is that actually I was taught. I have two stories to tell you. I was taught one thing is that whenever I'm trying to buy an air ticket, I was taught the the legal way of buying an air ticket would be to go to the website, look at the best ticket available, um, go to the payment gateway, make the payment, and buy the ticket. Correct? That's the proper way of doing. But that's not the correct way of doing. Go to the website, look at the ticket, finalize on the ticket, go to the payment cart. At the payment cart, hang on for 7-8 minutes, try to enter some random numbers, and then your payment gets delayed. Go back one more time, go enter that, try to play around with the payment gateway, and then stop. Then 9 out of 10, you're likely to get a call from the customer care center saying that, Mr. Ramesh, what happened? Why did you not go through the process? So that's when I was taught is the best time to negotiate. You say that I want to buy, but I don't think it's not my learning. It's my friend told me that. Okay. And it works wonders actually, but I hope nobody is listening to this. I hope nobody is listening to this. Okay. So then they're giving you a call. I think I'm going to be in big trouble. I'm not going to get any more negotiating powers because they know my phone number now. And okay. So that is what is the thing about. Okay. So who do you treat as a good customer? What he said, who you treat as a good customer is that you're actually focusing on that customer who's faulting. You're focusing on that customer who's faulting. There's another very interesting case study. It is not Amazon, but one other company before Amazon. And what used to happen was that people go, what is an abandoned cart? In online shopping terms, what is an abandoned cart? An abandoned cart is where she buys some 6 dresses and just leaves it in the cart. Correct? Goes through painfully packing 6 of them and then drops the cart. So what's happened to that company is that they almost thought she's going to buy it, and then there she goes. So 2 days later, she gets an email. Listen, looks like you were trying to buy this thing. Here is a 15% discount that we are offering. So now she gets excited about it. And that real case study I'm talking about, real case study. So now she gets excited about it. She completes the sale. But is she going to keep quiet? She's going to tell all these people. So what are they going to do? They're going to buy and abandon the cart. So abandon the cart, and then now they're waiting for a phone call or an email coming in. And so you see, how you handle a customer is so very critical. It's because sometimes you are pampering a customer when the customer doesn't need one. And the last example that I wanted to tell you was, and I wouldn't name this company because they come from the industry that I am. So there was this company who were doing very well. Okay, who were actually virtually leaders in that industry that I come from. And they belong to a country where it's ruled by a king. Okay, so don't think too much on which this country is, but leave it at that. Okay, so on the day of the king's 50th coronation, they said, "Oh, Mr. So and so, you are our most dear customer. we've noticed that you've been paying us very, very well. And since it's the 50th coronation year of our king, we are waiving off 1 month of your payment. So who you think? This guy is a pure Indian, right? What is the next thing he's going to do? He's call his other colleagues, other competitors and say, humko ek mahina mil gaya. So, see, the situation was, look at the tragedy. A market leader in the business that they are in, they made such a trivial mistake. This guy who was the big customer almost accounted for 45 to 50% of their business. And they were truly being nice to them. They were truly being nice, saying that we're giving you a 1 month waiver because our king likes you and you like our king and things like that. But the news spread. So the smaller guy said, अरे यार हमको पैसा ही नहीं है और इसको क्यों देना अभी उनका राजा तो महाराजा है. Okay, so they virtually stopped paying. So this company had to shut down their shop within 1 year from being a market leader to shut down the shop just because they said that we will be nice to our customers. So that is what is all happens on the thing. But segmentation, thank you, Mr. Vikram and Betal for a good conversation on segmentation. So anything else on segmentation? What is segmentation? Give me one segmentation. I see one big segmentation here.
Segmentation by people.
Segmentation of people, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Example, how do you segment them? By
By gender or
millennials.
ages.
Yeah.
By their gender or age.
by age, gender, whether they wear glasses or they don't wear glasses, whatever it is, right? By their income, by
Class
their
of
years.
people, age.
Yeah. So the first question that I asked you when you came in the pre-class session is, how many years of experience do you have? And what are you all doing? So I want to know who is made up of. So that is segmentation. What is targeting? Targeting is what?
Targeting the particular segment.
Okay. Okay. So in taking the executive MBA program, how do you segment and how do you target?
Segment the people who are working.
Yeah, segment all working. Okay, very good. Let's try to come up with the definition of the market. What is the market for executive MBA program?
Yeah, people who are working already and who are
That's
graduated.
the biggest market for. Okay, and what is the further segmentation? Minimum 5 years work experience. Anybody below 5 years can go and give him one. Okay. No, I'm just saying. Okay. So good. And do you think it's worth doing a segmentation of women and men? No. So
Not
you see,
in education.
yeah. So some segmentation are irrelevant. But if Tanishq were to do this own exercise, the first part is correct. The second is age part is correct. But the most important is whether it's a man or a woman or Raymond versus Tanishq or whatever that is. Then, so targeting is what? Targeting is what?
Targeting
Having segment.
only,
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, only the particular, like I could say, inside the segment, there would be multiple segments. So
Perfect.
yeah,
Inside the segment, there are multiple segments. Yeah.
So targeting the one particular segment for the product. I mean, for one particular product. Yeah.
Correct. So making an executive MBA program would be, we are looking at those working professionals 5 years and above who are wanting to study further. Some want to study specialization in their engineering. Some want to do specialization in some other thing. But there are those who want to specialize in management or MBA. So you have done 3 levels of 3 segmentation, but you will only target at one particular, which is you're only interested in those and not interested in the other. Then what is differentiation? How we are better than the competition. Any other method of defining? How? What is USP? What is the unique selling point or procedure? Doesn't. What is unique selling proposition that we have? Okay. Then what is value proposition? What is it? Why? Why? Hmm. Hmm. So if I've not gone into the subject, but I'm hoping that I wish I had a pen I could write, but I am struggling with it without a pen. Okay, let's do it anyway. So put all of that. And what is positioning? If you don't know, you don't know. Doesn't matter. I'm here to teach you, but I'm just trying to give you what is positioning. For what is that? The right market at the right time with the right demography. Okay. Anything else? Anybody else is more or less correct. An example for positioning. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Okay. So you're saying positioning is placing a particular product in a particular place. But that's probably not what we have, but that is also very good. That is also a distribution mechanism. That's a distribution mechanism. But I'm trying to think of an example for positioning to give you a comfort feel. Where do you shop? Between I mean, give us a choice, right? I mean, we'll give her a choice between West Side, Shopper Stop. Hang on. No, not that way. Go ahead. Come. No, tell me. Yeah, perfect. Between Shopper Stop, West Side, and Trends, where do you shop? No. West Side is like you can't change the sentence. That's the rules of West Side is like West Side is okay. West Side is premium. No, hang on. West Side and premium. And Trends. Who told you that? Who told you that? But who told you that West Side is premium? You mean there is no Trends doesn't have anything above 5K? So who is positioning them as premium? And who is positioning poor Mukesh Ambani as all and sundry? So positioning is what the brand positions itself in your mind. In your mind. It's how they want to be looked at. Perfect. Well done. Perfectly well done. Just to give you an example, just when I was young and much younger than all of you, I used to go to work on a two-wheeler and I used to pass through a particular car showroom. And I'm talking about 86, 87 kind of a thing. I used to go on that road. I was scared to go to that car showroom because I felt that I did not belong to that category. And I was scared that I'll be thrown out if I walked into that showroom. So when I actually grew up and my boss said, it's time for you to buy a car, you know which showroom I went? It's because I wanted to go and make myself feel comfortable that it is. But the car room never said that. It's the positioning of that particular product. And by default, I went and bought that particular brand of car because I had positioned that as a very premium product. So positioning is what the product wants you to think about it. Now, unfortunately, Mr. Mukesh Ambani's Trends is not, he's saying is cheap stuff, right? So, by the way, this is from Trends. Huh? Well, no, trust me, even I have a similar attitude about that. Okay, so, but why do we segment? the real part of it. Why do we segment? Is before, if I told you what happened, okay, attention, time out. Okay, then earlier, before we introduced the word marketing, we talked about product, we talked about industrialization, we talked about how we were slaves, we had to buy whatever was sold. You remember the very first class I talked about it? Then there was mass market. Nobody cared. The market was not even segmented. There was mass market. If I don't know how many of you remember that the family went shopping and bought 1 meter or 10 meters of the same cloth, and father, son, daughter, everybody wore the same color, right? That was because that was cheap and we bought it. There was mass market. Long product life. Bajaj scooter lasted for 35 years, even without repairing their the floating on the this one, that they had to bend it and start it. That's long product life. Naive customers. What does naive customers mean? New, unknown, poem characters. Yeah, so naive customers. They were only worried about how it functions, not how it looks. How it functions, how it looks. Limited offering, because you go back to, I don't know which place would I talk about, go back to Bombay dyeing or Binnies. 10 years later, it'll be the same shirt which will be still hanging around. It'll just have a layer of tar or whatever that is. Opaque pricing. That means the pricing was not very flexible. They wouldn't give you the pricing information. Today, it's very different. Today, it's a fragmented market. The shop where she shops will not be the shop where her friend shops. It's a very, very diverse, short product life. Products will come and die very, very fast nowadays. Demanding customers versus naive customers. If I don't get what I want, I'm not buying it. They are not moved by functions. They are moved by emotions. The feeling that you have when you have an iPhone with you is very different from the functional attributes of the product, right? I mean, the way you feel it. And then new product launches. Every time there's a new product launch. And transparent pricing. We have to be transparent on the pricing. Otherwise, somebody will go buy it from somewhere else. So this is the reason why we should segment our market, right? So what is segmentation? Segmentation is you can read about it, but most importantly, segmentation must be measurable, accessible, profitable, differentiable, and actionable. Meaning, what is segmentation must be measurable mean? Having divided the segment into men and women, I can definitely make out that there are 20 men and there are 14 women. That is the measurable part of it. If I were to define them as those, smiley faces, those non-smiley faces, but that's not a measurable parameter, like you don't know who they are. So that is the second thing. Having divided them into measurable, it says they must be accessible. If I have been able to divide the segment into measurable, then you should be able to access the market. If I have divided them as those, if I'm an what is that company? Lenskart. How would I divide this group? What is the parameter of division if I was a Lenskart? Those who wear glasses and those who don't wear glasses. But those who don't wear glasses should be accessible. I mean, those who wear glasses, I should be able to reach out to them. And this whole exercise should be profitable. What is the point in dividing a segment which is not profitable to me? And differentiable, of course, is more or less how do I differentiate? What is the parameter? Next is actionable. What does actionable mean? Having known this segment, what is it I can do to this segment to convince them to move? Right? There was a long time when we segmented women and men or girls and boys. And then they said that we'll come up with girls only colleges and girls only schools, because that was a was a segment which was actionable. I could convince parents who were not even sending their children to school because they felt that they come from a community or from a background that we don't want to send our children to school. So you convince them that no, I'm sending them to school, and the girls is a separate school. But that become a possible criteria today? No longer does that become, because everybody wants to educate the children. So that no longer becomes a parameter. Okay, done. Segmentation of market. Do you want to take a break now? 2:55, we'll take a break. Okay, we'll take a break. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. 2:55 to 3:10 or 3 o'clock we'll join. We'll finish segmentation, targeting, positioning, and then we'll do a Google form test. Okay, you will assess your own marks, and if you do well, I have taught you. If you've not done well, you have not learned well. Okay. Okay, good. Any questions so far?
No question. No question.
No, sir.
This one. Yeah. Which one? Which one? No. I didn't understand. I didn't understand you correctly. Yeah, go ahead. Life cycle. Hmm. No. This was not with that intention. The intention behind the slide is very simple. When there are very few suppliers, listen to me very carefully. Unfortunately, you'll have to stay for 10 more minutes because of him. When there are very few suppliers. Well, let's look at the situation of BSNL. Earlier, BSNL was the only telecom provider in the country. Now, what are they going to do? They are addressing a mass market. Okay, they are addressing a mass market. And they have a long product life. Nothing is going to change about that product. That product is going to remain. It's a telephone line. It's a telephone line. Whether you're a naive or a smart customer, it didn't matter. There's the only supplier that you have. But today, the market is fragmented. Some people are running behind landlines. Some people are running behind fiber. Some people are running behind SIM cards. The market is segmented. And there's a short product life. In the meaning is that you don't know what is coming up new. That you are more or less certain that 20 years, 30 years, it's going to be just one landline. And the customer is demanding. Right here, the customer has no choice. The only provider which is going to be there. Let's say there are going to be two. Bescom is the only electricity provider in our country or in Bangalore. Tomorrow, let's say somebody else comes up. Now, how will they differentiate themselves? They might come up and say that if you consume power during night, we might charge you less. And that's what happens in Japan. In Japan, I'm told that if you consume more power during the night, they're going to charge you less because that power can be used to run factories or whatever thing that is. So now, the fallout of that is the Japanese washing machines, among all the parameters, the most important parameter for Japanese washing machine is what? Because of the fact that Japanese washing machines run in the night, they have to be as silent as possible. So the only parameter which becomes is how quiet it is in comparison. So what you are saying is, how does Benz or Mercedes react to a customer? That is a different point of discussion. It is how does Benz go ahead and control or manage their customer base. We are not talking about it. We are saying that earlier there was only Benz. Today, now Benz has to work harder, right? Because Benz is finding competition from Kia, from all kinds of these players. So how do you go ahead and market that? You have to be smart. You have to go to the doorstep. The idea was that segmentation is now inevitable. There was no need to segment it. People would come there. Okay, right. Go ahead. We'll talk to you at 3:15. Is that fine? Okay. let's start. So if you have understood segmentation, which is actually one way of dividing the user base. So what do you do by learning that segmentation? You can get into three modes, meaning that you could get into a very specialized market. Now look at this. This is the entire size of the market. The market is made up of very different segments. And you only come up with one segment for a particular segment that you are interested, meaning that let's say you are a tire company and you have what are the markets you can address? You can address trucks, you can address cars, airplanes, and whatever that is. But you decide to come up with maybe for four-wheelers alone. So you address only one particular. That's a specialized market. You might even go even more specialized. You can go and address maybe only a particular brand of cars. That could be a further specialization. Or you could get into selective specialization, wherein you are addressing 2 or 3 different markets. For example, MRF might actually have a range of products which are which work for two-wheelers or trucks and LCVs and things like that. Or you could have a huge range of products virtually addressing the entire segment. For example, you might want to have some of the cosmetic products which are there for the entire range. It could be from men to women to parlors to whatever that is. That's a huge segment. So each of you would get into a specialized market depending on where you think your profitability is, which market do you understand better, and what does well. So as you can see, these are 3 screen grabs that I have done. And so the original, I thought there was, yes, this is the source. And so this is, I was just reading this particular professor, and then I found the way he's actually segmented the market. I liked it. So this grab is from that particular screen. This reading is yours. I don't read that fine print, but it's desirable that you read it. The reason why I did this, and I'm not doing this in my previous terms, is at one time, as I get ready for the exam, what do I read? Is the typical question that my students started asking me. So one answer to them was, because assuming this particular page is not there, so I would tell them, you listen to my presentation. That's good enough for you. But at the end of the day, you need some reading material. There's nothing like a reading material. So I thought this term, you have this as your reading material. Whatever that I have explained to you in proper words, it's a good, you sit down on your desk and read. So if you want to prepare yourself, go in depth into a particular subject, start reading all these definitions and notes, as I have called them. So this is one thing that I have introduced. Your seniors didn't get this access. So the level of segmentation, how do you segment this? What is the most detailed segmentation one can go? What is the most highest or the least segmentation I can do? The least segmentation is mass market, right? There is no segment. There is the entire population of this country is my market. That's it. What's the segmentation I'm doing? Zero segmentation. What is the highest level of segmentation I can do? The individual, right? So we have one. We can go to a mass market, or we can go to an individual. In an individual market, what happens? Like bespoke tailoring or something like that. 95% of us go and buy ready-made clothes. But there could be this 1% of those category who actually walk in and get this shirt stitched. There was a period of time when it was a movie. there was an Amitabh movie in which he plays the villain, he plays the bad man, the real bad man, and it's called Baycab or some Bay something. Okay, whatever it is. So the part of it was that he would walk with a pair of shoes were made of pure leather. And if you have pure leather shoes, you know, they make that noise when you walk around. That was a craze. That was a craze for guys like us when we were just in our working year, 85 or so. We knew a shoemaker uh, in Shivaji Nagar who would do the specialized shoes, which was like you walk, your walking could be heard. Of course, there's the other segment wherein you keep that thing on the child and pong pong that's the other end of the segmentation which was there. But I remember we were so excited to go give the pair measurement of my foot, and then you get it. And then I walked to my office, and my first day, my boss said, "Whoever is wearing the shoes again is not entering my office." so I was so excited, and that excited lasted only for 10 seconds. So that is, and then I went and bought a mass customized Bata shoe, safest thing to do. So there you go. You have mass production or mass customization. Mass customization is something that actually Nano said, "I'll try to do for you." If you remember, Nano, when they came up with it, they said, "We are doing mass production, no doubt, but we'll actually do mass customization," meaning that you could log, or actually the mass customization is something that Dell does. If you walk into a Dell website, you can choose the kind of drive, you can choose the size of your screen, or you can choose the kind of other features. So you can actually go ahead and do a customization. But that's very, very difficult. But between then and now, there is mass marketing. Then you have segment marketing, that there are different segments. And I do one thing. Niche marketing. What is niche marketing example? Give me an example. You must give me an example where there is somebody else who is doing mass marketing or segmented marketing, and there is somebody else from the same company or same product doing a niche marketing. Mass, yeah, that's enough. So, yeah, that's fine. What is niche marketing? Rolls-Royce does, Rolls-Royce, maybe, yeah, in what extent would that be niche marketing?
So maybe something related to traveling. I mean, you have these. Uh, I mean, tourism kind of stuff, right? So where you have international traveling and you have the India traveling, which is national.
Okay, fair enough. That is, you want to do specific country kind of traveling. That's probably what you're saying. Anybody else can think about niche marketing? Designer wear may actually become an individual marketing. But you have to give me another example of where there is segment marketing. I know, very hard, but let me try. Yeah, you're thinking, or are you just reading?
So maybe Apple. So you have the iPhone 13, then you have iPhone SE, which is basically you get into different, the same brand but with a different price
Okay.
groups.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. But let me try to come up with an idea. Manyavar would be niche marketing. Yeah, okay. Okay, that you're almost getting there. Okay, exclusive wedding suitings is what you're saying would be, but there is his competition. The way to understand niche marketing would be that your competitor is addressing a larger segment, whereas you are addressing a very small segment, though you are capable of addressing a larger segment. That means to say that there are you come up with specialized software for the pharma industry. As a company, you can come up with a software for any industry. Let's say you can come up with a software for a variety of sectors, but you specialize only in the pharma sector. But that is because not because of your lack of your capability, but because you want to go into only a particular niche market. What is the advantage of niche marketing? What is the advantage of niche marketing? You can attract all, you can actually address every customer in that sector. Point number one. Point number two, you can save money in research and development because you're only going after a certain set of people. Point number one. Point number two. Point number three, competition is, what is that? Okay, even so the competition is less, and hence what does that all mean at the end of the day? There's only one word at the end of all sentences. Therefore, I will be more profitable, right? That you will get that thing. You are here to make money. Okay, you are here to make money for your company or your individual. So there you have different types of marketing: mass, segment marketing, niche marketing. And niche marketing is very difficult. But once you get that market, you virtually become a leader. And most niche marketing people, they spend a lot on advertising. Yes or no? Yes or no? How many of you say yes and how many of you say no?
Yes.
Who says no? Nobody's saying no. I believe it's a no. If you're such a niche market and you know your market, why would you advertise? Yeah, once you know your market, you're going to only address them. You're not going to advertise the way you would do another product, right? No, if you have give me your viewpoint. But then, but you know how to reach out to the customer because it's there. So there you go. You have one demographic criteria, which is gender, age, education, income level. Then you have geographic criteria, which is climate, social environment, psychological criteria, and behavior criteria. So now I want you all, it's typically an exercise that I give up to the class, but I want you to come up, give me a product which is based on gender. You can give me, of course, there are lots of products. On geographic criteria, name a product which is segmenting itself on a geographic criteria. Motilal Oswal, what do they do? Less. Okay. Yeah, but yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah. But can we look a little more diverse? Any other example? Cars. Well, think big or think a little more diverse. Think a little more. Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Okay, fair enough. I just demographic, geographic, psychological criteria. What does psychological criteria include? Values, attitudes, personality, and aspirations. So give me a product which is based on any one of these. Burger King is what? So where do they fall under? Psychological, but under values, attitudes, personality, or aspiration? Values. So you guys, this is then attitudes. Give me a product for attitudes. Kellogg's is what? Is that, where does it fall? In attitude? Okay.
What?
Wouldn't. Yeah. What is that?
Sir, I watch.
I watch is an attitudinal, or is attitude. Okay, fair enough. Or let's say the recent ad of Salman Khan when he's given, when he's asked, do you want a soft drink? And then he says, watch my movie, and it's not about soft drink. Tufan or Shah Rukh Khan. I mean, they're all same. Okay, okay, fair enough. There's a big difference between Shah Rukh Khan and Salman. Who do you prefer? I almost said the same thing, and then you guys got upset on that. Okay, so aspirational brand. Give me an aspirational brand. Aspirational. Beyond iPhone. You know, one of the challenges I tried to put on myself, one of the challenges I tried to put on myself is I must do a marketing class, and at least one class of 3 hours where I don't use the following words: Facebook, Apple, then Geo, Amazon. Impossible. You know, these guys have got into our blood. Is that I cannot come up with an example without mentioning one. An aspirational brand is fair enough. Okay. Then behavior criteria, levels of use. Okay, so let's look at some examples. Now, what do you do with all this learning? What do you do with all this learning? You demographic, geographic, psychological, behavior criteria, do all of that, and then do what? You have to categorize in my mental frame of work. How does my customer look like? If I were to draw a picture of let's try to draw a picture of a person who's an executive MBA student. So what do you look? What did the person would look like? What is the typical height of that person? Immaterial criteria. What is the what do you call it? A gender of that person? Immaterial. Age. What is it? There's somebody missing here, man. This guy is gone. Mr. Less than 5 years. Okay, okay, but I was right? Somebody. Okay. Oh, maybe he got upset that it was. Oh. Okay, okay. So I just lost my track. Okay, so what is the mental? How old do you think a typical executive MBA student is? 25, 24, 25 to 60, 30. So anywhere between 25 to 30 years, and a level of education, graduate. Okay, no specialization, we will not get that. So level of education, annual income, just put a number. Annual income, let me put a number. Say about how much? 3 lakh, annual income of about 3 lakhs and above. Okay, so you got age, you got what else? Education, then you have income. Then what else are we going to look at? Look at attitude. What is the attitude that you would look at? From location, most likely geographical, most likely from Bangalore. Okay, and social environment. You think she or he is married or not married? Well, where would you put them? 50, 50, 50 or more? Most people are married or most people not married? Most people are not married. Okay, so then their social environment would be that they are not married. And then what will be their culture? Are they having a open-minded culture, or do they have a very close-minded culture? Open-minded. It's about how you define the personality. Then values. Do you value education? Do you value your time? What's your attitude towards work? Casual or serious? You all will say that, right? Okay, who would ever say that? And this is a recorded session. And I forgot to tell you, we send it to your offices, these recorded sessions. Huh? What is that? They don't recognize your voices. Well, what's your name? Okay, okay. So you see, why am I doing all this painful jovial exercise is because I wanted to sit in your mind is that every company has a certain personality in mind. When it comes to a B2, they expect a certain person. They expect what is, and then they know that this person walking in is meeting 8 out of the 10 criteria for a purchase. And hence, I'm going to spend my time talking. Okay, I remember. I always wanted to own that the what is that, the bullet motorbike, and I felt I was too thin or not that fit enough to ever ride a bullet. So, and then bullet came, bullet disappeared. If you know the history of bullet, you know, it came and it's no longer there. And then I had all my gym friends who had bullets and all that. At the most, I would sit in the back of it, but never drive one. And then bullet started making its reappearance. So it made a reappearance, and then I went to the showroom, and then just when they had come back in the new avatar. So the guy felt that I had all the criteria. I was walking in, I was working, and all the things. So then he said, "Sir, when do you want to buy?" I said, "No, actually, I'm not planning for myself. It's my son." "How old is he?" I said, "He's 4 years." So you see, it was an aspirational brand for me. But then, you know, I was just wanting to it, but then I knew I would not be driving it. So there you go. The criteria of how your segment gets and then how you end up finally. I took one example here. Of what a possible person would look like. This woman is 35 years. I took a very arbitrary name, but if somebody has a name similar to that, is there somebody with a similar name? All this and this? Only I know that this could be similar, and so, but incidentally, there is a person by that name, and it's my nephew's wife. So I just thought I'll pick that. So who is actually 35 years, who's got 2 kids, and who has got a basic salary of whatever it is. She's based in Bangalore. She stays in Prestige Falcon. She's got parents in law. She's an introvert. She likes Carnatic music. So now you see all these learnings means what? How do you sell the product? Do you think you can sell a ticket for a rock band to her? She's not going to buy it. She qualifies in everything else. At 35, she's perfect for a rock band. At the kind of salary, this is exactly what she wants. But you know the finer detail that she has a preference for it. So that is how you start looking. And what is her aspiration? Her aspiration is a green card. She wants to get a green card. So any topic on green card in the search engine, you know, she's going to go look for it and piece and paste. So if I send her a private email saying that we enable green card for you, you think she's likely to fall in trap for it? Very much, right? So that is how you look at it. So this is what it is. This is segmentation. Let's look at another one, targeting. Targeting is rather not too very complicated. Targeting is which one of these segmented markets do you actually go and run after? So look at this. Frequent fly-in program for airlines. Monthly grocery purchase on Amazon or Big Basket. Now, what does that tell you? What does these two tell you? A person who is frequently flying, you know what to target him with. You know, you might want to give him coupons for free travel, or you want to give him free stay in a particular place, or he's the ideal guy for you to do an airport pickup and things like that. You get into it. Then you have monthly grocery purchase on Amazon. So I know what you're buying, what exactly is you're buying plan, and I could design a program to that. Take an example of a restaurant. A restaurant typically consists of two sets of people. What are those? Who are primary customers, secondary customers, and non-regular customers. Who are these? Primary customers are one who walk in every day, and we will talk about pricing and customer on a restaurant in more detail later on. They walk in every day. Then there are these secondary customers who either go to restaurant A or restaurant B, or they are always fluctuating between them. So now these two are very important for the hotel. A non-regular customer is normally ignored, right? For example, if you look at it, if you go in bus or if you go from Bangalore to your hometown and they stop in a place for food, what is the quality of that food? Why? Because one-time traveler, because you are unlikely to visit, you're unlikely to influence the person who is to go there. So that is the reason why food is really bad in bus stands, because they don't have a target market. Anybody who is just going by is a market. They don't have these regular customers as a buyer. Let me give you one more example, possibly. I think I'll leave this for you to go on. Differentiation. What is, we all talked about differentiation. Differentiation is what is different from what the competition is offering. Differentiation is why are we different from the other group? What is unique about what I'm doing? What is the value proposition that we, let's look at one example of this. Okay. I want you to pay, we're going to move talking about that in this particular slide, and I want you to refresh yourself, pay attention. It's almost 3:45, but get you to concentrate for the next 10 minutes, very seriously. Okay. The whole concept of marketing involves three players: customer, your company, and your competition. Yes. And remember the circle very, very well, because the circle will go on and on and on and on for the rest of your marketing. Okay. Now, all the time, the customer, your company is trying to woo the customer to buy your product. And all the time, the competitor is trying to snatch that customer from you. And then there is this big battle going on between you and your competition. They are the three big games that are going on. Now, this whole thing is called the frame of reference. This is the frame of reference we're talking about. The frame of reference is the process in which marketing of a new product begins, and you create a frame of reference. What is this? This is the customer that I'm going to serve. This is my competition. These are the products that he's going to be interested in. There is what is called the point of difference. What does the point of difference mean? Well, let's first discuss the point of parity. Now, where is the point of parity? If you look at this point here, your company, consumers' requirement, and the competition's delivery are all matching up to here. So whatever the customer wants, your company is offering it. The competitor's company is offering it. That's it. This becomes the core product. There is no, whatever is being offered by somebody else. So how do you stand out and tell the customer that buy my product? You can only tell the customer to buy your product if you have points of difference. What is the point of difference? In this case, the features that are offered by you are not being offered by your competition. So that becomes the point of difference. Now, for example, I can offer you some unique features in my product, but if they don't mean sense to the customer, They do not fall under your bracket of things. So it has to be not only points of difference, but those differences should be appreciated by the customer. And similarly, your competition also has point of difference. It's not that you're the only guy who's going to come up with point of difference. Your customer also has a point of difference. So as long as you are meeting the point of parity, and as long as you've got a point of difference defined, then you are able to get the customer to come to you. And point of difference could mean many things. Difference in price. The parity could be we are similarly priced, but we have more features. Or point of difference is that I am higher priced because I give you a lot of additional features. So get these 3 points very, very clear. The frame of reference, points of parity, and points of difference. Any questions on this? No? Perfect. Okay. Now look at this. What does this ad tell you? The first one. What does this ad tell you? Online.
Extra mileage.
What this gives you?
Extra mileage.
Extra mileage. Okay. Or this tells you, what is it? It's almost like 99999, right? So what is Volkswagen conveying the message?
Reliable.
Long life. Oh, we have excellent durability of my product. So what is Amstel Light telling you? It's a light beer. It's just a very light beer, right? I mean, you can. Now, what is this product telling you? The strength or the power of that the car can actually do this. What is this ad telling you? Hospitality. So you see, each company wants to convey a certain message. It doesn't mean that we are low, we are not. There's nobody saying that this particular ad is saying that we will not run for 100,000 miles. No, 100,000 miles, but the point of emphasis is that we will have ours is a strong, durable car. Then this talking about us is a light beer or it's a hospitality. So this is called positioning. Positioning is what you position in the mind of the customer. How are you perceived in the mind of the customer? What happens to you the moment you see a particular brand? What happens to you when you see a particular color? What happens to you when you see a big M? What does that remind you of? McDonald's. So why can't it remind you of anybody else? But that's the whole concept, is how they position the mind. Okay, so positioning is how you are made to think about it. This is your slide on positioning. What are the benefits of positioning? I was about to skip this slide and ask you the questions, but I'll stick to it. Facilitates product selection. It's very easy, right? The moment you see a M logo, you know that if you're driving from Bangalore to Chennai, where's the M logo starts appearing 10 kilometers or 15 kilometers before. But between McDonald's and the first logo, there might be 5 restaurants. But you're going to bypass them because you know there is a McDonald's restaurant 15 kilometers. It enables product selection. It says, hang on, don't drive a little longer. You get good food at the Mac place. It increases benefits. Means to say that you as a supplier, you benefit by the fact that you have a right positioning in the mind of the person. It increases brand value, no doubt about it, right? Positioning of a particular product in your mind increases brand value. It organizes all the marketing strategy. It's easier for you to define how to go about it. Gives you higher share and profitability and Obviously, there is no pricing. It avoids a little bit of pricing comparison, right? At 355, I know most of you are exhausted. We'll move forward. Okay. Now, let me just spend 10 minutes on this. I told you a story of Tanishq, Tata, and the suffering that they had and how they came up. Let's look at the problem of Tata and their cars. When Tata came out, what was Tata known for? Trucks and buses. What are they? They are very reliable, very sturdy. So what happens? They came up with cars because they thought that customers will buy them because they are as reliable and sturdy as their trucks and buses are. So what happened when Indica came up? It was a rustic brand. It may have been very sturdy, but it was also very bumpy. It was not a brand that you wanted to be associated with, right? So, and it was used by a taxi. So I don't want to use my brand. Look at what is happening with Tata. Tata wants to enter the passenger segment. They come up with a product called Indica and it gets branded. Nobody branded it. It gets branded as a taxi. It gets branded. Nobody wants to buy a taxi. Okay, I actually wanted one of the cars that I wanted to buy later on was a Logan. If you know the Logan, but nobody said, hey, no, Logan means they'll ask you to drop you to the airport. So because all Meru cars were Logan cars. So that was not there. So nobody wants to buy a Tata product because Indica was a bad name. Next, what happened to Tata? They came up with Nano. Nano was a flop. So now, what is the branding on Tata cars? What is your mental framework on Tata? Indica, Brusses, Sumo, and then Nano. I don't want to buy this car. Nobody wants to be associated with a. That's your mental positioning. They may be good, they may be reliable, but your mental framework. Then Tata bought Jaguar. Wow, man, there's something really happening out. Maybe something good is happening. And then they came up with all kinds of new models, Altroz, Tiago, Tigor. Everybody looks interesting, but they still don't want to buy. Look at the time and effort it takes for a company like Tata Motors to win back customers. To win back customers in a journey of 15, 20 years, they are just not winning back customers. And slowly, they also know that Altroz, Tigao, or Tiger, or whatever those brands are not going to bring customers, but it's going to slightly change the perception of the customer. And then they come up with Nexon. They say, wow, Nexon, I think I'll buy. Nexon. But if Tata brought Nexon right away, it would not have changed. It needed Tata to come with secondary brands to slightly change the mindset. So they want you to forget the Indica. They want you to forget the Nano. Then now that Nexon is coming, I said, oh, maybe I'll buy. And now I see a lot of Nexon, and Nexon looked ugly. Now it looks good for me. It's because my mental framework is changing. Then Harrier came. Now I think Harrier is really good. And the next kind of brands are definitely going to convince me to buy. So why am I saying this is it takes a lot of effort for a company to change the perception of the customer. Okay. So what's not positioning? I think I'll leave it to you. It's quite into the day. Now let me give you an exercise to complete and call it done for today. What is the time? Yeah, 4 4:15, 4:20, you guys should be able to finish this. Where do I put it? I put it in the chat here, and some of you will paste it. Can one of you do that? Mansi, if you're there.
Yes, sir. I am on it.
You're already at it, huh? Okay. Okay, good. Let me give you 15 minutes to do this. And I want you to know how much you score. Okay, should be very easy to do. I'm going to stop share because I don't want others to know what the others have done. This is correct. Can you access it?
Not yet, sir. I am just still yet to upload it.
Okay. Working? No, you're waiting. Waiting for Mansi.
Yeah, I am just opening the app on my laptop.
Okay. By the way, what's the score? No, it's not yet started. No, which over? More important, 14th to 16th, 16th to 20th. No, it should not get confused. Good, good. Huh? It doesn't work on CSK match. Actually, I've changed sides now. I'm now beginning to like that. No, never. Uh, sorry. I'm beginning to like that Lucknow. Yeah, Lucknow Super Giants. I think they're doing well. How many of you, okay, while we wait for it, how many of you, what are your interests outside of work? What are you good at? Some of you sing, paint. Let me know your secondary activities. You're a freelance photographer. Wow, very good. What do you specialize in? Segmentation into small events. Okay. Oh, okay, okay. Maternity shoot, baby photography. Good, yeah. Very nice. That's good. And your name? Chandan. Okay, that's good. And what about anybody else?
Team, I
Cooking.
have posted the link. Just check if you can access it.
Okay. While you guys access it, I guess once it's done, it's 4:02. Take about 15. But let me understand, as some of you type in the other side of you. Like Chandan says, he's a freelance photographer. He's been quite busy doing maternity shoots and baby shoots, and very good. Baby showers. Good. And somebody says he's into cooking up stories, or no. Cooking. How do I know? Yeah. So what kind of food do you cook? Bengali. Okay. Wow. Okay, good. Do you know how to make a rasgulla? Okay. You should. Last class we had somebody who was good on the guitar, and she made a performance online. No, she performed for about 5 minutes. What about you guys? Online, and you all? Anybody else? Any secondary interests? You're into sports. What kind of? You're national level intercollegiate football player. That's very nice. Good. And in where do you? You're forward, backward, or whatever that is. Wow. So you forward ends up scoring more goals, right? Good. Very nice. Anybody else here? Oh, what is it? Bodybuilding. Wow. Man, that's good. And you participated in events and all that? Not yet. Yeah. Among you students online, what else do we have? What? Huh? Movies. You made a movie. You watch movies. Okay, okay. That's good. Okay, are you able to get the link? And let me know how much have you all scored. I'm not bringing it online so that each of you, I know how much you've done. The questions are tough or easy? Tough. Not for a Buddhist saint. First is name and at the email. That cannot be tough, yeah. We have taught you, right? No, I haven't taught you. Out of syllabus. Okay, those two questions will go out of syllabus. No, fair enough. I've taught the other group. But I thought somebody was instructed to tell me to teach you. Okay, but remember, next class, make sure that I teach you. Let me look at that, this one. PRIO I've taught you. Sorry, my friend. You can't get away with murder. Okay, Gartner's Magic Quadrant. I can, copying is allowed, huh? Okay, Gartner's Magic Quadrant I have not given you. Then 1, 2, key considerations, consumer behavior, market research, segmentation, POD, PO. Name has come again in the bottom somewhere. Don't bother. I just added a few slides. So everything else I've taught you. First two questions you can ignore. PRIO I have taught. So she's nodding her head. Yeah. Nobody has completed so far. Anybody need any help? I can help you. Huh? Answers you want? Rejoin the course. Doing good? Hmm? Mil gaya. Answers, sab mil gaya. Good. Ananya. Mansi. Sudarshan.
Yes, sir. What are you saying?
Mansi,
Yes, sir.
are you attempting?
Yes, I'm attempting. I'm yet to finish it.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Good, good. Ananya, Amita, Baireddy, Darshan. Yeah. Anybody, any one of you believe question is out of syllabus? Okay, I'm not sharing this. Stop sharing. Not supposed to share this. So 25 marks. 25 minus 2. 25 minus 2 is 23. 23. Need some help? Why you're not able to do? The price is cost. Okay, product is something like that. Yeah, correct. Oh, yeah. You getting this? Yeah, perfect. Working? Good. What's the first one? Yeah, that's one. What was the answer for the first prize? Price is, what is price? It's cost to you. Right, right. No, I'm just telling you. Perfect. And you, sir? Actually, if you orient it the other way, it's easier to see all of them. Yeah, that particular. Now let's see. Position is what? Okay. Let me pause recording. Why would recording go like this?